Welcome to Weekly Meeple Chat, Week 6, and we're going to do our second segment here, our second data chat, and this is the top 10 games played since 2016. Now, what makes this different than the last video is that it only covered the top 10 games played over a year.
Okay.
This is covering the top 10 games that we've played since we've been keeping track on Board Game Geek, which our anniversary was June 26th. Of 2016.
Okay, before you go any further, I'm Julie, and this is David, in case you didn't see the first video. You know who we are.
Yeah, I forget to do that.
All the time.
I'm consistent.
You are consistent.
But anyway, it's a weird time period because we just decided to start keeping track in June 26th at that time. But it does coincide, like we said in the previous video, with the fiscal years of school districts, which being an educator, I guess.
You would know. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now we're going to have some that are tied for the most played. Again, this is over a 2-year period, and you can download your playlist from Board Game Geek.
Right.
If you start keeping track yourself.
Yep. It's kind of fun to do it and see how much you played of certain games.
Right. So here's number 10.
All right, let's do it.
Nations, which we went over in the previous segment. We played that 12 times, and it's a dice game, and you like dice games a lot, and that's why it's on the list.
Yeah.
In fact, we just played it again this weekend, but it fell outside the June 26th period.
That's okay.
Since we talked about in the last segment, let's go over the next one.
What is next?
Ooh, so we have a new one here. Isle of Skye, which is a tile-laying game.
It is.
Kind of like Carcassonne, but with a bid mechanic.
Yes. Why don't you?
So when we first got it, we played it a lot. And then Julie started to get frustrated when, because you can bid, and one thing you can do is, if you're going first, you could buy a tile from your opponent, and that opponent says, "I don't want any of your tiles." So then you end up with more tiles. So that happened a lot to Julie. She didn't like, I'd buy something that she wanted to keep. Because what you're able to do is you set your bid price on your own on tiles behind a screen. You remove the screen,
right?
And then I would end up buying the stuff that she wanted to keep because she didn't price it that high.
No,
The problem is when you price it high, that's what you got to pay to keep it.
Exactly. So then you lose all your money. Then you have nothing else to use for next time.
So you had trouble.
I was trying to budget my money.
Yeah, so you had trouble with that game.
Yes, I did.
Bidding, setting good pricing.
Very much so. I admit it. Yes.
So you got frustrated when I started taking too many tiles, and then it is a game that sometimes the rich get richer type thing.
Needless to say, we have not played this in a while.
Yeah. But hey, when we first got it,
we
played it a lot, and then Julie found out that she didn't like it as much.
True.
Which we covered in the last segment, Thanos Rising, which is a very new game for us. We got within the last month that we played.
We enjoy very much.
Which is a cooperative game.
Yes, one of my favorites.
So let's see what the next.
All right, number 8 is
Japur.
Our 2-player games that I like a lot.
Yeah, and you picked these, and you
went
over Odin's Ravens for Token Punch Lunch with
for Sam Healy. Yep.
And so we covered both of these.
We did.
So if you want to look at our channel, you can see our review of these games in more detail and how to play.
Yep.
And so they're both great 2-player games. They're both card games. One is a trading game, which is Japur, and the other one is a race game, which is Odin's Ravens.
Yes.
Now, there is a race element to Japur as well, because you're trying to race to get the best chips before the other player does.
It's just a different type of race, because Odin's Ravens, you're going around a track.
Right.
And this one, you're racing to get the highest tokens.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So Odin's Ravens we've owned longer than the Japur. But hey, they both got 15 plays in the last 2 years. All right, let's see what number 7.
Ooh.
Okay, so the reason why that picture doesn't look so great.
No, it doesn't.
Because I wanted to show you the edition of Crocono that we have. It's the Mayday game version that we got on Kickstarter, which is well priced. The quality is decent.
Yeah.
And so that's a dexterity game. And you're trying to push wooden discs into the circles to score the most points. If you get into the center circle, you can get 20 points, and then it decreases from outside. And then what makes it interesting is that you always have to hit an opponent's disc.
Always.
If there's an opponent's disc on the board.
That's right. And you don't have to hit him hard. You can just barely even touch him, and it's okay.
Right.
But you have to touch the opponent. And sometimes it doesn't always work that way. So if you totally miss him, that's it. You lose your piece. You don't get to play with that piece again.
Right. That's why there is a gutter around the edge. If I show it up
hard
close,
to see it from there.
So we should go over this game as well. And we play tournaments, and you see there's a way to keep score on that box there on the board. And so even though we record one play, really we've played probably 3 games each time.
Probably, yeah. Because you've had little tournaments. And
stuff. We had tournaments. Mm-hmm. So again, that's one of our favorite dexterity games. That and what's the race car one again?
Oh, darn it.
Pitch car.
Pitch car, yes.
Right, which we have to go over as well.
I like that one too, yes.
And so the last segment we went over Vegas dice, and that is a dice rolling game where you're trying to place dice, the most dice in each of 6 pools to win the most money after 3 rounds.
Great game.
So both of those games have been great with casual gamers. Mm-hmm. And so with Crokinole, we'll do tournaments where me and you will play. The winner of that will play one of our sons or other people that we have over. So let's go on to the next one.
Okay, number 6 is
King Domino.
King Domino.
So again, we went over that in the last segment.
We did.
That's just a tile laying game where you're trying to score the most points, placing tiles that have similar types of regions, and crowns or multipliers within those regions. And so we played this with casual gamers as well.
Right, and it's not a very long game at all. It's a quick filler game. If someone's getting some, freshening their snacks or drinks or whatever, 3 people could easily play this real quick, and by the time you're done, your food and
that's
snacks
why it
are
gets
there.
a lot of plays, because it's quick and you can play it between other games.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so next one is number 5, Rose King. So we went over this in a previous video.
We did.
And this is a great 2-player game. This is why we reviewed it. And it's an area control game where you're placing your roses. It's supposed to simulate the wars of the roses. Right. And it's... forget what it's called again. I'm going to talk about why I think something.
Well, I don't know what he's thinking about, but I do like it because it is a fun 2-player game. It can be a little strategic because you are trying to have to, make a little path, so to speak, for your matching flowers. And roses, excuse me. And then
which are flowers?
Are they really? I didn't notice. And then if, one of the opponent's roses gets in the way, you can play a special card and flip that back to your side if you choose. However, you only get 4 of those special cards to do that with, so you have to time it just right. Otherwise, once you're out of them, that's it. You cannot do it again. Right.
So you have so many cards that you play that will move around a yellow crown piece. Right. And that would determine where you place it on this grid. And so the word I was thinking of was exponential. So scoring is exponential. So if you have a 2x2 area, if you have 3 of your roses in an area, that's 3 times 3, that's 9 points. But if you have 8 of your roses in an area, that's 64 points, 8 times 8. So you're always trying to make the largest area that gets the most points. Definitely. So if you get a 12x12 area, that's 144 points. And it doesn't matter that you have a 6x6 and a 7x7, because if those are separate, it's only 49 plus 36. So it really...
You still can't catch up.
Yeah, you can't catch up. So it really encourages you to make the largest area possible.
I think we went over this on one of our previous...
Yes, we did. We did. All right, so let's see what number 4 is.
Number 4 is... Ooh,
Biblios and Incan Gold.
Ah, good
so,
one.
Biblios we went over in the last segment, which is a card drafting game with try to get the best cards and different suits to score the most points. Right. And then there's a bidding round that will help you do that as well. But Incan Gold, we went over in a previous segment.
We did.
Previous video. And that's because our son likes to pick this one, David. And we also play this a lot with casual gamers, and that's why it has so many plays.
We just played it last night, in fact, with David, and I think you beat us both because David Jr. and I kept we kept staying in there longer. It is a
push your luck game. That's
and
right.
I have to admit, I did lose again, but that's okay.
Not as bad as the last when we went over it for the video. You had 0 points because you kept on pushing your luck.
This one I improved. I had 9 points.
You know, I just thought of why we rediscovered this game.
Why?
We hadn't played this game in a long time, in years. And when George and Mary visited us 2 years ago, he saw that we had the game and he picked it and said, let's play this game. And I forgot how good it was.
That's right.
So if it wasn't for George and Mary coming to visit here in Vegas,
wouldn't have picked up on it again.
Yeah, so it was one of those lost gems that we forgot about.
Yeah.
And then because he had owned the copy, he said,
That's
let's
right.
play it.
Yeah.
So anyways,
It's a great game.
I forgot about that story.
I did too.
All right, so the
Number
third
3.
one. Again, it's Kuruma, which we went over.
Eddie's favorite.
Yeah, which is a tile laying game. Try to get your explorers to each temple before the other players. So it's a race game. Number 2. So there's really no surprises here because it's similar to the last segment.
Right.
Taluba, which is a tile laying game where you're trying to you're trying to place the most buildings, the most temples,
right,
or place 2 of 3 building types before any other player.
And can you guess what number 1 is?
Number 1 again is Corella. So
Corella. I first say right.
So again, this is an experiment. We'll see if this changes for next year.
Definitely. I think maybe, who knows, maybe in 6 months we'll do like a middle of the road type of.
Well, maybe we should definitely do something for December because this is a weird time of year to do it. I understand. It's June. But you can say, hey, before you go to Gen Con, maybe there's some things that you should keep in mind.
True.
Or if you go to Essen, because it's usually the cult of the new where people want to get these new games.
Sure.
Sometimes you forgot that some of these old games that you've had on your wish list or that you forgot how good they were are worth playing again.
Right.
And we're always looking for new games.
Definitely.
But
it's fun to go back and play these ones that we've played in the past and forgot how good they are. It's almost like a book you haven't read in a long time. You fall in love with the book again and realize why you had it in the first place. Yeah. And the same thing with these games.
I'm glad you have time to reread books. I don't.
I was just using an analogy type of thing. Whatever.
That's okay. It's like rewatching movies for me.
Okay, I do that a lot. And my TV shows.
Yeah.
But anywho, now you see what I have to deal with, guys.
Yeah. All right, so that was the top 10 games that we have played, the most games that we have played since June 26, 2016.
There you go.
In the last 2 years. And we're going to do some other top 10 lists throughout the week here.
Yep.
We're going to do some interesting lists based on the data from Board Game Geek. And the reason why I'm into data a lot, which, again, I'll do future videos about this, I am a doctoral candidate at the University of Arizona. And when you're a graduate student, you really look at data in unique ways. And so I like collecting data. All right. Well, anyways, we'll get more to that in the future about my doctoral research, which happens to be on board and card games.
Thanks so much for watching, and please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys later on during the week.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.